The reality is today, obesity and diabetes is an absolute epidemic, and there's only one very simple cause. With today's processed foods and massive amounts of sugar, people are becoming overweight and diabetic, and it's because 98% of the population lacks dietary fiber. 100 years ago, the average human being would eat 5 pounds of sugar per year. Now, with the grocery stores and all the processed foods, the average human being is eating 150 pounds of sugar per year. How do you fix all that? One simple supplement that's natural and easy to use. It's called dietary fiber. So please watch the rest of this video because it's going to change your mind and your life and your health forever. Hey everybody, Joel here. Happy Tuesday. It's what, 3:30 local time. I want to, again, as people jump on board, I'm truly going to show you the simplest trick that I've used to maintain six-pack abs year-round, and I'm going to be 45 years old this summer, okay? I'm going to show you that if you stick around just a few minutes. It's a simple trick. It's not hype. It's not magic. It's a simple trick based on science. And if you don't believe me that I have six-pack abs, well then look anywhere on this fan page, because there's pretty much a ton of pictures of me on here. Not to be arrogant, but obviously being in the health and fitness space, you got to be a product of the product. So what I want to talk to you about today, and I have to be very careful with my words. First and foremost, what I'm going to tell you is not endorsed by the FDA. I have to say that. And here's my opinion on that. Well, the drug industry, okay? How many drugs are out there right now for diabetes? How many drugs are out there right now for weight loss? How many different drugs are out there for health and wellness? Well, the FDA is controlled by the pharmaceutical companies, because if you can't patent it, you can't make money from it, right? So when they create these drugs, these weight loss drugs and these diabetic drugs and all that kind of stuff, they're able to make millions and millions of dollars. Anybody who's a diabetic now taking insulin, or if you're type 2 diabetic and you're taking glucophage or other forms of blood sugar lowering medications, you know that it's not cheap. In some cases, $50 a month, $100 a month, hundreds of dollars per month if you don't have medical insurance, okay? So the thing is, it's a hypocrisy in my humble opinion, because there's an easier, completely natural way to absolutely stay in the best shape of your life. And that's simply, here's the simple trick, but before I go into the simple trick, what is the cause of diabetes? Plain and simple. What is the cause of obesity? Plain and simple. You are eating way more than what you're burning. That's what causes people to gain weight. If you eat more calories than the calories that you burn, you're gonna gain weight. It sounds so simple, yet we're in an obesity epidemic. Our children today, the World Health Organization has said that the children of today, because of different lifestyles of video games and all that kind of stuff, statistically will not live as old as their parents will. And that's just really, really sad. And it's because of the sedentary lifestyles, so on and so forth. So if it's so simple to lose weight, why is that 98% of people can't seem to lose weight or keep it off? Why is type 2 diabetes becoming an absolute epidemic? Why are more type 2 diabetics turning into type 1 diabetics? It's an absolute farce and epidemic, and it's a serious, serious, serious issue. Diabetes causes gangrene, it causes early heart disease, obesity causes heart disease, it causes high cholesterol levels, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into the one simple trick that I use to keep six-pack abs year-round, that I use to maintain anywhere from 6 to 8% body fat year-round, and it's using dietary fiber. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the whiteboard behind me to explain to you the science of why this very simple, natural, drug-free supplement works so well, okay? So here's my demonstration. I've got a clear glass of water here, and I'm actually going to take my own fiber here with my mixer, and then you're going to want other water to chase it down. So why is dietary fiber so important? Well, first of all, the reason why diabetes is so high is 98% of the population is absolutely fiber deficient because of all the processed foods today, okay? If you wanted to get the proper amount of dietary fiber into your body today, you'd probably have to have about 6 to 8 green salads a day. How many people, myself included, have the time to eat 6 or 8 green salads a day? not me. So this is what I do, and I'm going to show you the demonstration. I use dietary fiber. This is my demonstration. This is my reel, okay? Dietary fiber is amazing. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in here. 1, 2. This one I'm going to mix up. I'm going to let it sit there while I talk to you guys, okay? This one, as you can see, is a liquid right now, but it's not going to be a liquid for very long. So that's my test and that's my control. And we're going to watch how this metamorphosizes. And then I'm going to take my real dietary fiber with my shaker here. Now, the reason you want water to chase it down is dietary fiber will bulk form to about 50 times its regular size. 50 times. So those 2 tablespoons or teaspoons or kind of whatever I'm taking will bulk up to 25 to 50 times bigger than they were. So I'm going to put the same amount in here. Okay. I'm going to put my top back on. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to swipe away the mess I made. Now once you start mixing this, you have to drink it really quickly. Okay. So I'm going to shake this up. I'm going to drink it live. Then I'm going to chase it with some extra water. Why? Because it can bulk form. So I want to make sure it doesn't bulk form in my esophagus. It bulk forms in my stomach. And I didn't do my fiber today because I wanted to do this live because we are on a mission to eradicate. Let me drink this because it's got to go fast. Okay, that's down in my belly. I'm going to chase it with some water. And I might keep that water just in case. So there's my demonstrations done. I do that every morning after breakfast. I didn't do it today. Why? Because I wanted to demonstrate for you guys live what happens. Why is this natural supplement that we provide so amazing? Let's go to the whiteboard and let's talk about the science of obesity and diabetes, which are absolute epidemics and absolutely killing millions of people around the world prematurely. I don't think we have to argue about that. And again, why is it so, maybe I'll move this out of your way, JB and stuff. Why is it so hard when the science is so simple? Right? Why is it that we just seem to eat way more than the calories we consume? Well, let me ask you a question. There's 2 things, okay? There's a lot of people out there today who go, you know, Joel, I'm not resonating with you here because I'm just a carbohydrate junkie, okay? I just love my carbs. I have to have my white breads and I have to have my potatoes and I have to have my potato chips and I gotta have my candy. Every couple hours, I just have to have it. I'm a carbohydrate junkie. Understand, that is not psychological. It is 100% physiological throughout the human body. 2 things cause hunger. Number 1, low blood sugar, okay? That's number 1. How much blood sugar is in your veins being consumed by your body as an energy source? Low blood sugar causes hunger. Number 2, what is physically in your stomach causes hunger? So, in your stomach, okay? These 2 things cause you to feel as though you want sugar, you want carbohydrates, you want to eat, okay? Just those 2 main things. Now, what happens after you eat? You feel full, right? You feel satisfied. Here's what I want everybody to absolutely understand, centered around the science of why obesity and diabetes is so high. So I'm going to make a chart here. And this is going to be an increase in blood sugar. Kind of hard to write it sideways, but that's an increase as your blood sugar goes up. And this is time. Okay? Before baking, before processed foods, before using sugar, right? Almost every single thing that you buy in the grocery store, whether it's white bread, whether it's cereal, whether it's anything baked like muffins and cookies and all that kind of stuff, contains sugar, okay? Now understand, everything that we break down into our stomach that gets into our bloodstream is sugar. Our body can run off of two energy sources, sugars and or fats, okay? But here's what's happened over time. When you think back 100 years ago, did you know that the average human being consumed about 5 pounds of sugar per year? Why? Because there wasn't grocery stores, right? You cooked things, you grew things out of the ground, you had your own gardens, you made your own organic food, that kind of stuff. Now, you go to the grocery store, you're buying cookies and ice cream and cakes and even white breads and even healthy foods, right? So the problem is today is the food that we eat today compared to 100 years ago. 100 years ago, we would have about 5 pounds of sugar per year. The average human being would have 5 pounds of sugar per year. Now, 100 years ago, obesity was not an epidemic. Diabetes was not an epidemic. Understand, diabetes is the inability to control your blood sugar. Okay, that's what insulin and the blood sugaring medications do. Understand that. Today, the average person consumes 150 pounds of sugar per year. Okay? Now, think about this. When you eat stuff that is cooked, i.e. 90% of the stuff you buy at the grocery store, not your fruits and your vegetables, or we wouldn't be an epidemic right now. Those things are pre-digested. It means, okay, if this is, I'm gonna make a little stomach here for you. That's my little stomach, and then you got down and you go into your intestines like this, right? There's my little stomach, okay? There's my intestines, not bad. So when we eat things that are pre-digested, okay, things that are cooked and all that kind of stuff, we eat them, they get digested very quickly because they're already broken down. Refined sugars and processed foods are pre-digested, okay? So we digest them super fast, they get into our small intestine, and then what happens is they get into our blood very quickly, okay? Now let's come back to this graph. What happens is you eat something, and in a very short time frame, your blood sugar goes way up. What's the problem with diabetics? Their blood sugar's always high, and they need medication to bring it down. Blood sugar goes way up. Now, well before you're diabetic, this is what happens, is the beta cells of the pancreas, okay, release insulin. But because your blood sugar has spiked so fast, your body overcompensates and actually releases too much insulin. Insulin is the hormone in the pancreas that actually helps to lower your blood sugar, okay? What it does is it helps the muscles, the receptor muscles in your body go and retain that sugar from your bloodstream or store it as fat, okay? So blood sugar goes way, way up because you ate stuff that's kind of pre-digested. Your body compensates, the beta cells of the pancreas release a massive amount of insulin. Why? High blood sugar is bad. Ask any diabetic. All types of issues, heart disease, gangrene, obesity is caused by diabetes. As a result of your body releasing too much insulin, what happens is now your blood sugar crashes because your body overcompensated because it's not used to your blood sugar going up that fast. Two things cause you to feel hungry. Number one, this is what we're talking about now, low blood sugar. Now you're at a blood sugar crash. What happens? Oh my God, I want my carbohydrates again. Oh my God, I want to eat again. Oh my God, I need my snack again. What do? You go and have your snack, your blood sugar goes way up, and same thing, high insulin release, crash. You go and eat again a couple hours later, way up, crash. This increase and decline in blood sugar all day long makes you feel lethargic, it makes you feel tired, it gives you brain fog, it gives you the inability to function properly, and most importantly, it causes you to be what's called insulin resistant, okay? What is insulin resistance? Well, let's use coffee as an example, okay? We all know that the very first cup of coffee we ever had, you drank it, you got a good energy boost from it. But we all know that the more coffee we drink, the less the effect, right? You have to drink more and more coffee to get the same energy boost as when you had coffee the first time. That's tolerance. That's tolerance to the drug. It's the same thing with insulin, okay? So what happens is, because you're always releasing so much insulin, the receptor cells in your body that bind to the insulin become resistant, okay? So now, you've got this resistance on top of that. Okay, I hope you guys are watching this because this is super important and it's super easy to fix, okay? We're talking about the science of fiber here, which is natural and drug-free. So now you're having these blood sugar spikes all day long, and because you're releasing so much insulin, your body gets tolerant to the insulin. Because your body gets tolerant to the insulin, when your blood sugar goes up, your body has to release even more insulin and more insulin and more insulin because your body's getting used to the response to the insulin, right? Then what happens is the insulin kind of stops working. So your blood sugar stays higher longer because you're tolerant to your own body's production of insulin. When you're tolerant to your body's production of insulin, guess what's starting to happen? Your blood sugar starts to go more like this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And now you're at a critical point where your blood sugar is pretty much high all the time. So what do? You go to your doctor. Your doctor says, well, sir, you're borderline diabetic. No such thing. You're either diabetic or you're not diabetic. Okay? If you've been told you're borderline diabetic and we're going to just prescribe you this little white pill, okay? One of them is called, let's talk about the drugs, the bad stuff. One is called metformin, and there's others now, and glucophage. Okay? Metformin and glucophage are two drugs that a lot of type 2 diabetics are on. What does type 2 diabetes mean? It means that your body is intolerant, it's built up a resistance to the insulin. What do these drugs do? It helps you to become less resistant to your own insulin. So now you go on these drugs, and now you're back more to the old style of up, down, up, down, up, down. You've put a Band-Aid on the issue, right? Because you're still eating the same food. You haven't really changed your diet. Hey, my doctor said I'm only borderline diabetic. After all, I am 43 now. And, well, you know, diabetes runs in my family. And all these excuses come into play. And, well, it's just not my fault. And so I'm just going to keep eating what I'm eating. Blah, 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 blah. Look out, people. The minute you come even close to these drugs, you are in huge trouble, massive trouble. And here's why. The beta cells in the pancreas, which are responsible for creating insulin. Insulin is the drug, the hormone that your body uses to lower your blood sugar. These cells, the beta cells of the pancreas, have a certain lifespan based on just our evolutionary history, okay? We were not made to produce massive amounts of insulin all the time. So guess what happens? You're still living, but the beta cells, okay, the beta cells of the pancreas, they die. For good. If your beta cells are dead, you can't produce insulin. If you can't produce insulin, you're in big trouble. You want to know why? Now you've gone from a type 2 diabetic to a type 1 diabetic, and now you're taking insulin injections all the time. Not much fun, is it? And the body is wonderfully adaptive. When you're injecting yourself all the time, it's not the same thing as your brain and your body working together to create the exact right amount of insulin from the beta cells. So now you've gone from taking glucophage and metformin to what? becoming a full-blown diabetic, having to prick yourself on the finger all day long, having to inject yourself with insulin, having to go with diabetic nerve pain, having to go with gangrene in your feet, having to go with lack of circulation in your body, having to go into congestive heart failure, and then you're going to die prematurely. End of story. Don't let that happen. Let's talk about the good news. Okay, let's talk about the good news. Let me keep my stomach. By the way, JB, this making sense, brother?
Yeah, perfect.
JB's my cameraman.
Perfect sense.
It's not too scientific.
No, I understand it.
Okay. Remember my control here? Watch this. Remember that was a pure liquid? You want to zoom in on that, JB? You can. It's not a pure solid, but look. I can't get that out. That's why I needed to chase it down. Now, is it this coagulated in my stomach? Of course not. There's hydrochloric acids. There's everything. Okay? Look at that. But because this cannot be patented, because the drug companies can't make money from this, they don't tell you about this. And it's against the law to say that this is a weight management solution and it absolutely can help prevent diabetes. Remember, 100 years ago, we grew stuff that came up, we ate stuff that grew from the ground, or we ate stuff from animals that we killed. None of us eat enough stuff that grows out of the ground anymore. That's what dietary fiber is, right? I can't even move that, guys. Here's the good news. So, remember we talked about really, the basics of obesity and diabetes is we're taking in way too many calories than we burn. If it's such an easy mathematical equation, why is it so hard, right? If this is our calories we consume, let's say it's here, and the calories we burn is here, we're in a state of weight loss. Pretty simple, right? If you are actually eating less calories than you burn, you're pretty good. What if it's the other way? What if our calories, which is why obesity and diabetes is so high, we're eating this many calories, but we're burning this much. We're gaining weight. Why is it that over the past 100 years, from an evolutionary standpoint, we haven't changed, yet obesity and diabetes is an absolute epidemic? Fiber. That's the only reason, guys. It's the only reason. So, what are the two things? What's easier to do? Feel full and satisfied and not hungry and not craving sugar? Or having to exercise all day long to maintain a healthy body weight? Obviously, we'd all love to feel satisfied and full a lot longer. That's what fiber does. Here's how it works. Remember, two things cause us to feel hungry. What's in our stomach? When this bulks up and you put this into your stomach, you're not very hungry. Okay? If you're not hungry, you don't crave sugar. But it's way more than that. It's way, way more than that. I want to talk to you about, just for a second, the other benefits of fiber. It actually increases your high-density lipoproteins or your good cholesterol. That's why you see that it's called heart healthy, and they're allowed to say now, weight management. Oh my God, the FDA allowed us to call this not weight loss, weight management, and it could be heart healthy. Why are they allowing us to do that? Well, we can't do more than that. Why? This is natural. This grows from the ground. This cannot be patented. They cannot make millions and millions and billions, quite frankly, of dollars from it. Here's the other way it works. Fiber has 0 calories because it's largely undigestible by the human body, but it's absolutely needed by the human body. Remember, 98% of people are fiber deficient, okay? So, we need fiber. We're not eating enough. That's what's causing diabetes and obesity. So when you eat your fiber, it creates a bolus in your stomach because it can increase 25 to 50 times and it sits there, and no, it's not that hard. It's not going to clog you up. In fact, fiber originally was advertised as what? A laxative, something to make you regular, and I'll show you why it makes you regular. It bulks up because it soaks up a ton of water, okay? Most people, getting a little off track here, most people get constipated because they're dehydrated in their intestines. So things just kind of clam up and you can't go to the bathroom. You can't take a poop, basically. This is what fiber does. So it creates a bolus. It sucks up a bunch of water, keeps your intestines nice and hydrated because there's so much water there. And then what it also does, as it comes into the bloodstream, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, JB. So this is my stomach over here, okay? And I'm just going to talk about this. If this is my stomach here, and here's my intestines coming down, okay? Okay? The food is digested, but then it passes the small intestine here and gets into your bloodstream. What the fiber does, this is dietary fiber that creates a barrier all along your intestinal wall, okay, on both sides. And this is why this is such a simple trick that I do every morning. I do it after breakfast because you want to eat breakfast first. Now I've got this dietary fiber. Now anything else that I eat for the day, okay, because fiber is not digestible by the human body for the most part, any other food, whether it's, let's call it a soft drink because I don't want to name names and get in trouble. Let's call it anything else, okay? Soft drink, pure sugar. Let's put a little ice cream in there. Cream, okay? Let's put a little pizza in there. Whatever you want, doesn't matter, okay? What happens is, when those things start to get digested, now they have to pass through this fiber wall. Imagine your food having to pass through this. I can't get it out of there. Imagine that your pizza having to pass through that first before it gets into your bloodstream. It's going to take a hell of a lot longer, right? Just makes sense. It's going to take a lot longer to digest your food. So, I'm almost done here, guys, with the science behind all this. And I hope you find this interesting. I hope it's providing you amazing value. And I hope you get your fiber today. This is what happens. I got fiber all over my fingers. I'm glad I brought... That stuff's sticky, man. I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. Amazing, amazing natural stuff. Let me get that off my fingers. This is what happens. Remember, we now have fiber in our stomach and in our small intestine. Because it's there, it takes longer to digest anything. The longer it takes to digest anything, the longer your stomach's full. But the longer it takes to digest things, this is what happens. Because it takes longer, if this is your, remember your blood sugar, and this is time, this is what happens. That's the new blood sugar level in your body. Remember the old one? Because things were so quick to digest? It's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Two things keep you full. Low levels of blood sugar make you hungry. Adequate proper levels of blood sugar keep you feeling satisfied. So when your blood sugar is nice and stable, like this, if this is morning, right? Your blood sugar is going to be at an all-time low in the morning because you haven't eaten for 8 to 10 hours, right? So you eat breakfast. Every meal that you put in there doesn't create these spikes anymore. Now, let's change this from morning to night. Okay? This is morning. And this is the following morning over here. Here's what happens. Okay, now this is about bedtime right here. You've gone to bed. Boom. Versus up, blood sugar, down, up, down, up, down. What do you guys think? Those who've been on here for this whole call, What do you guys think happens? When you have nice, stable blood sugar, you don't release a lot of insulin. You don't become insulin resistant. You don't develop type 2 diabetes. Now, there's a genetic component to type 1 diabetes. That's why it's called juvenile diabetes. Some people genetically, when they're born, their beta cells are already dead. Okay, that's a genetic disorder. That's why you see juveniles or young children having to prick themselves. That's a genetic disorder. But if you are normal at birth, you go from a type 2 diabetic to a type 1 diabetic purely, damn it, it's preventable. When your blood sugar is stable, you have energy all day long. You can function. Your brain works well. You feel happy. You feel energetic. You feel joyful. And it's all because now you're digesting things at a proper rate. That's it. Now, you know what? There's some people that say to me, Joel, I've tried this. I just can't stomach. I can't swallow it. Really? You can't eat breakfast, take a tablespoon or two of fiber to save your goddamn life? Honestly? To prevent heart disease, to prevent early death, to prevent diabetes, to prevent obesity? Really? You can't take 2 of these in the morning and create a damn habit of doing 2 of those in the morning to prevent? What about your children? What if they want to see you around a lot longer? It's that simple, folks. And the health benefits are well beyond, okay? The other way that fiber works is it increases the bile salts of the liver, okay? One of the reasons why we have such bad low cholesterol, which is your bad cholesterol, and your good cholesterol, right? There's a lot of people who have very high levels of bad cholesterol. You want to know why? Because your liver is toxic with high fructose corn syrup and crap and pre-digested foods. What this does, as it passes through the liver as well, increases your bile salts. You know what bile salts do? They go through your body and they suck up all the bad cholesterol, and you actually poop out your bad cholesterol. So it's heart healthy too. That's why it's heart healthy. It's amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Just do it. That's it. You'll lose weight. You'll feel great. You'll be energetic. Listen, folks, I've got 1,000 more tips for you on how to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I'm almost 45 years old. I've maintained a healthy lifestyle my whole life. Just opt in on this page at NowLifeStyle, and we'll share other amazing tips for you. But please, even if I never see you again, go get yourself some dietary fiber. Take it after breakfast in the morning. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your weight. It's going to change your mindset, and it's going to change everybody around you. So have an awesome, amazing day, folks, and we'll see you on our next live feed. Bye for now.